prime time. Under the lights at Kentucky Speedway. The front row, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch. Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick on row 2. Ryan Newman, Clint Boyer on row 3. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Brad Keselowski on row 4. The fans come to their feet as we go green in the bluegrass. First lap leader, Kyle Busch. He qualified second, but he started on the inside after Jimmy Johnson, the pole sitter, elected to start in the outside lane tonight.
Yeah, Kyle Busch is going to be one that has to be here tonight. I mean, he's got a good feel for this racetrack, obviously knows how to win here. But just watching him in practice, he was just nailing those laps. Lap after lap, his car was real consistent.
Yeah, same place on the racetrack. I don't think that surprises anybody. He led the last cup lap here, and he's led the first cup lap here this year.
His teammate Denny Hamlin settles into second. Back behind him, there's Brad Keselowski. Those steering wheel problems earlier. He's up in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr., who takes us into turn 1.
Yeah, you'll watch how these cars move around a lot more than you'll see like at Michigan. Michigan's very, very smooth. This racetrack is bumpy, and the cars, they do a lot of sliding, they do a lot of bouncing around, and as the tires wear, that's going to be an issue when these guys start running side by side, because you get into the situation when you start taking air off the other car, and it gets to be a handful.
Greg Biffle out of line inside of A.J. Allmendinger for position, right behind Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And I'm going to tell you, Jr. was another car, just like the 18 car, that just lap after lap after lap. That car never seemed to bobble, never seemed to move around. He just maintained that pace all during practice.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to make it happen inside of Martin Truex Jr. 88 car running 8th, Truex in 9th, Allmendinger the final car inside the top 10. Brad Keselowski on the move early. He's up to 5th in the running order. Brad Keselowski looks good early on track, Marty. What are they saying on the radio?
Well, just talk about that steering wheel issue. What it turned out to be is that the wrapping around the wheel itself was moving around on the wheel. So I guess A, Wally, good catch by Brad, but B, if he wouldn't have caught it, how much of a handful would that have been all night long?
It would have been bad, Marty. And you know, when you get in the race car and you put your wheel on, the first thing you do is you pull the wheel back towards you to make sure that the wheel clicks on that coupling. And if the wheel's moving like that while you're driving at 190+ miles per hour, you just can't do it. I mean, your whole feel is in the steering wheel. You're feeling the front tires, the whole car, and the steering wheel. And if that thing's moving around, you don't get a good feel of the race car if your steering wheel's not secure.
Brad Keselowski able to drive around Ryan Newman. So the Blue Deuce up to 4th now. We should remember he's in a backup car. Crashed before even completing a lap in opening practice here yesterday. On board there with Newman, had a top 5 run at Kentucky 1 season ago, and a great qualifying effort here tonight. Kyle Busch has led every lap. First time he's been out front in a month. Here's the start of the race. Jimmy Johnson, the pole sitter, elected the outside lane.
They just jockeying for position. You see the 48 take off first, and then it's almost like he missed a shift or something, because you saw the 29 run up on him really quick, which allowed the 18 to get that really good jump by the time they got to 1.
Dale Jr. continues to move forward, looking inside of Kevin Harvick. Harvick started 4th tonight. Mark Truex Jr. right behind him.
And Jr. started to look like it did in Michigan. I mean, he just rolls through the center, and it's a straight shot up off. He and the 18, just as Wally said at the beginning with the 18, you see Jr. straddling that line there, cutting it down to the bottom. These other guys are already moving up the racetrack. But in the heat of the day, when the racetrack was as slickest, he was incredibly consistent.
And you're turning all day long here. It's a racetrack. I mean, you know, you got the back straightaway, but the car's always in yaw. It's always in turn here. So if you can get your car to work right through the center of these corners, and it rolls through the center like Kyle said, well, if you can keep that like that all night long, you're going to be tough to beat.
The 88 Looks like it did at Michigan. That's not good for the competition. Right now, the man in charge at Kentucky, Kyle Busch, picking up right where he left off a year ago. He's led the first 9 laps here this evening.